Hello everybody, it's Mrs. Ware of Stream English here, and today I'm telling you all about connotation. Connotation is the key to unlocking English analysis, and so it is so important that you understand what it is. In this video, I'm going to be defining it, I'm going to be showing you an example, and I'm going to be telling you how you can use it to analyze a text. So let's do this. I'm using my usual favourite dictionary for the definition today, and Collins Dictionary defines connotation as the connotations of a particular word or name are the ideas or qualities which it makes you think of. Now, the key to connotation is that it is different from the denotation or the definition of a word. The denotation or definition of a word is what the dictionary would say that that word meant. The connotations are like the secondary meanings that we infer from it. Check out my video on what is inference if you don't know what I mean by that. What we infer from a word, the implicit meaning we take from a word that we've almost like created as a society. So in that sense, there are some connotations that are universal. All human beings would pick up that secondary meaning. And then there are others that are culture specific. Let me show you what I mean. Here we've got a picture of a diamond. Now, if we were to look up in a dictionary, what is a diamond? It would probably say something really technical about like compressed carbon or cut into some kind of shape or whatever. But if I was to say to 100 people, what's the first thing you think of when I say the word diamond? What words are they going to say? What words would you say? Expensive? Beautiful? So you can see that there are some words that we all have in common, that we as a human society have created as our secondary meanings. We hear diamond, we think expensive, or maybe we think wedding or something like that because of how commonly they're used with like diamond rings. However, it can also be really sort of culture specific and text specific too. If we take, for example, the color white. If you are in Western Europe, North America, you hear white, one of your first thoughts might be weddings, because the color white is classically worn by a bride on her wedding day. There's a lot of white at weddings in general. Fair play. If you are South Asian, you might not think wedding, you might think funeral, because white is commonly worn at funerals in South Asia. And so there, the different cultures lead to different connotations. So that is why when you're looking at the connotations of a word, you have to really look at it in context and really try to figure out, like, a single word can have loads of connotations, but that doesn't mean that all of those connotations apply at that point in that text. You're going to have to figure out which ones do apply and which ones don't apply. Let's take another example of a politician, okay? If a writer is comparing somebody to a politician, because being able to talk about connotations is a key way of being able to analyze like metaphorical language, check out my video on that if you want to know more. We need to think about, okay, what are the qualities a politician has and how could you therefore compare that to whatever the metaphor is doing in the text, right? So if you've got a politician, there are two ways you could go, all right? Are politicians changing the world, great speakers, or are they corrupt, liars, untrustworthy? And so because of those really different potential connotations, you're going to have to look carefully in the text and be like, right, which one do I think the writer is intending to convey right now? Am I supposed to be taking from this that this person is being compared to a politician because they are untrustworthy and they're a liar? Or am I supposed to be taking from this that they are someone who is principled, committed to improving society, great public speaker, and so on? As I've already mentioned, analyzing connotations is the key to analysis in general in English. You are overwhelmingly talking about the connotations of a word when you are analyzing. When you're analyzing metaphorical language, when you're analyzing word choice, you do it most commonly. That means it's really important for you to constantly, when you're trying to analyze, be zooming in on individual words, talking about what they connote and therefore what the text is trying to say. To illustrate this, I'm just going to show you with two quotes from the play Blood Brothers. If you're not familiar with the play Blood Brothers, don't worry, very quick plot explanation. The lines I am going to talk about are taken from a song called My Child. Now, a lady called Mrs. Johnston is agreeing in this song to give up her child to another lady called Mrs. Lyons. And they're talking in the song about all the different benefits, the good things that will come out of Mrs. Johnston giving up her baby. And one of the things Mrs. Johnston says is that her baby will have silver trays to take meals on. Why did the writer use the word silver? What are the connotations of silver? And therefore, what is Willie Russell, the writer of Blood Brothers, saying about what this child's life will be like? Well, we can say that the connotations of silver, like with our diamond, are about wealth and being expensive. So that therefore would suggest that this child is going to grow up in a wealthy lifestyle. That is true, by the way, because one of the key themes of the play is the fact that Mrs. Johnston is really poor. That's why she's having to give her baby up, while Mrs. Lyons is wealthy. Another thing they say in that same song, Mrs. Johnston says you'd never find her future son effing and blinding, as in like swearing. So this time, what are the connotations of effing and blinding? Someone who's constantly swearing. What are the connotations of somebody who does that? Impolite, uncouth, boorish, uncultured, the list goes on, depending on how harsh you want to be to people who swear a lot. But the point is, with those connotations of it being that somebody who swears a lot is not posh, basically, because again, it's about that class system, working class versus middle and upper class. Somebody who's swearing all the time and is rather common, her son isn't going to be like that. That's what she's happy about. Her son is going to be brought up with manners and respect and wealth, as from the silver. So just by looking at the connotations of silver and effing and blinding, we have gotten so much of the implicit meaning out of this song and what the writers were trying to say. And that is why, if you are looking for the way to get better at analysing, if you keep being told you're not analysing, just talking about connotations is your really important first step to doing that. If you can get good at analysing the connotations of a word, you are going to transform your performance in English analysis.